everyone. It's our favorite night of the week.
It is our favorite night of the week because we miss you guys all the time.
All of our friends.
All of our buddies. Because you guys are our friends. You're our family. Old Reading, did you like that thumbnail? I was making it during work and I just like randomly told Mark, I turned around because like we work in the same room remotely. And I turned around, I had my phone in my hands. I'm like, can I take a picture of you? And he was just really taken aback. He's like, why? And then I had to explain, like, I want you to do a specific face because I just want you like peeking. And he's so good. He's such a good.
You just do what I'm told. Easier that way.
Happy wife, happy life, happy spouse, happy house. So he did it. He liked it. He hammed for it. Guys like my hat because it is the season.
Mm-hmm.
'Tis the season. And I'm excited about the season. Like all of our decor is up. Thank God because it's like an all-day affair. And it kills me every time.
You can see the reindeer in the background.
Yes. Oh, they're so
big,
pretty.
Majestic creatures. Hello, Stephanie.
Hello, Nightfall Homestead. You are here. We're
Thor
happy you're
Haven. Darren.
Stephanie, Darren. Bruce. Hey, what's up, Bruce? How are you guys doing? What's up with everybody tonight? Do you like the sparkly toque? It just emanates. I may eventually have to like turn off the battery in the back. I always get afraid like with things like this because I also have a sweater that lights up that like the battery will get too hot and I will spontaneously burst into flames. And like I will go out in a flame of holiday cheer, which isn't the worst way to go out, but I
promise to do my best to put you out.
What? You would try to put me out?
Mm-hmm.
Guys, he would try to, he'd like stomp on me.
Yeah.
He'd be like, I'm putting out the fire.
Stomping you, basically.
That's okay. I can handle that. So what's up, everyone? We're happy that you guys are here. We have had a very interesting night so far.
Mm-hmm.
I just came back from the Lala Farm live that I went to after Old Reading, even though like it took us forever to get home from picking up Joe.
And then we got home and the gate had come open, the main gate.
Every last one of our goats, both of our donkeys were out.
Yep.
All of them. We pulled in, it was dark, and like I had my barn open just a little bit, and there's old Dilly, the big old boar goat, standing in the door, and I'm like, oh my God, how's Dilly out? And I looked like past her, and I'm like, oh my God, all of the goats are out. And I was like, how'd they get out? And Joe's like, the big gate's wide open. So I'm like, oh my God, I hope the donkeys are in there. But of course, like our ring camera caught like the breakout because I left without feeding them. So they were angry, obviously, and I must not have put the latch on the gate well. And if big old Dilly takes a run and jumps on gates, like she can jostle latches. So I have to watch when she throws her big old butter. Yeah,
I was doing a review on the ring cam, and you could watch them just go up and down the driveway. The donkeys went out and visited the front yard, nice green grass. So
yeah.
Funny thing was they were all back in the barn waiting to be let back in the pen.
They were just like looking at us like, where have you been?
Yep, they were ready to get back to
They were ready. But yeah, they weren't hungry. They fed themselves to a bunch of hay I had in the barn. So I'm like, sweet, I don't have to hay you guys, which was fantastic. Yeah. Old Gray's like, when those cell phone batteries were lighting up. Yes.
I remember when those were busted.
Yes.
Is that like the lithium ones that are unstable or something like that?
Yeah. And then I'm like, is my head itching or is that like electrical shock hitting?
If your eye starts twitching, you know it's electrical shock. Hello, Steve. Steve.
I'm going to turn off the lights for right now. Look at everybody just coming in here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. She's like, oh no, that's got to be the word.
Steve talked about swooped in and won the t-shirt.
I know. I felt so bad because like I had just gotten in there.
I heard her hollering when I was in the other room getting ready. And
I never win anything. So I was like, oh my God, I want something. But then I was like, crap, I've only been in here for like 3 or 4 minutes. Felt really bad. But like I love the Lala Farm and they're on when Old Reading is on. And I mod for Old Reading, even though most of the time I lurk. But yeah, I'm terrible for lurking, guys. I'm really sorry. Does anybody else lurk? Where you're just like, I can't, like I want to be here. I want to give watch hours, but like I'm just going to lurk because I just can't. Hola, amigas. There's Emma in the house. Mark and Ashley, Ashley and Mark. So Mr. Steve over at Sweeney's Peak says, hey, Mark, you need to put a hat on. The reflection of your head is flaring the camera.
I did just shave it. It is shiny and smooth.
It is super smooth. Yeah. Like when he comes out, he'll like automatically walk up to me and be like, because he knows like I'm going to have to.
Didn't even have to polish it either.
No, it's natural like that. Yeah. But I do love when it grows out a little bit and it's like Velcro because then my hand doesn't like.
Yeah, and then I take off a hat and like the fuzz sticks.
Fuzz all over.
Yeah, that's always nice.
That's my favorite. Hello, Joe Mama. How are you? Evelyn, welcome. Fairview Family Farm, welcome.
Hello.
I lurk big time already. Like 99% of the time, I'm lurking.
Well, part of it's because you're working on something, you're just listening
Yeah.
in the background, and then also like your wait list now on
Yeah.
like next videos is huge.
My wait list
We
is
keep adding
terrible.
new subscribers to try to follow. What was the one we had? Celtic Roots. We
Yeah.
wanted to watch last night.
Because like he does pasture hogs, and we were just talking about not doing the coonies, and they do like the Idaho pasture pigs, which that was something I was like, I'm like, it's not like the commercial breeds, but it's like not a slow growth heritage breed like coonies are. So I was kind of interested with that because it's kind of like a healthy mix of like where we both want to be. So I was like watching, and I really like that channel a whole lot, even though like I've seen them around, and like, you guys ever do that where you've seen people around like in forums, just around on YouTube, and it's like you never really watch their videos, but when you do, you're like, I have just been kind of like punishing myself by not opening myself up to like these wonderful people.
Yep.
And our chat is just flying right along. You guys are getting
because
crazy.
We have a bunch of lurkers.
Oh yeah.
All
Lala Farm Raid. What?
Free-handedly.
Hello, free-handedly. Thank you for announcing the raid.
I did an extra E in there. It's free-handedly.
Bruce, I've lurked. I admit it. So Emma lurks too. Then we've got
Mama says she lurks.
I lurk. I
like
to just listen. Hi y'all, Bear White. I almost called you Betty White. I had a duck that was called Betty White. Only the special ducks get names.
Twin Brook Acres. Hello. Greetings, Earthlings.
Yes. Yeah, because look, like Santa's in space on a unicorn. What is better than that? I mean, really.
She finds some weird ones.
I really love like the weird, ugly sweaters. I really want Dwight Schrute from The Office as Bearschnickel.
Well, yeah.
Where he's like,
we saw one the other day, didn't we?
Yeah, but they're really expensive, and I'm cheap. They're really expensive, and I am cheap. So Fairview Family Farm says, I listen to a lot of channels watching it. Yeah, it's great. Like when I'm in the barn working with goats and stuff, like I will usually do a lot of listening, and I'm really terrible. So when I'm in like live chats like this, I hate interacting through my phone on live chats, but I'm one of those people, like I will type something out and then I'm like, no, nobody wants to hear that. Or I'll type something out, I'm like, no, nobody cares to hear what I have to say. So like I will constantly type in chats and then delete everything because I'm like, I just don't want to put that out there. So
Fairview says I listen to a lot of channels while canning. Oh,
yeah,
that's cool. That's
Mrozinski Family Farm. Did I say that? Mrozinski. Hello.
Hello. Free Henley says I lurk a lot when I'm crocheting. Yeah, when you're like working on something like that, it's sort of nice to have that in the background to listen to.
Yeah.
You
know what?
I know you do
you
it a
guys
lot when
think
you're
the
doing
hat is
animal
awesome,
maintenance.
but I had it turned off. Look at this stuff. And I have a sweater that goes with it, and it lights up as well.
Have a seizure.
But like, I love ugly sweaters. Like the day after Thanksgiving, we had a family game night over at his aunt's house. And I was like the only one in an ugly Christmas sweater because I'm like, it is the season. I can break these out.
Oh, look at the Lala
Hello,
Farm.
Lala Farm.
Thanks for stopping by tonight. Send some folks over your way at the end of our live.
That is so nice. And thank you so much for your generosity giving things away. I think that's so wonderful. And I will shoot you an email after our live.
I said a moment ago, Ashley just screamed when she yelled. So I was in the other room. I'm like, what happened?
I love Lala Farm, and I get to have like something from their shop. So
yeah,
because I'm cheap. That's why I was telling him like I love things, but I'm super cheap.
Hello, Brenda. Good to have you in tonight.
Stephanie says, I lurk when I'm busy doing something, kind of like now. I'm making goat chili with a chili cook-off tomorrow.
Oh,
really?
Wow.
Well, are you close enough? Because I'd love to have some of your goat chili.
Oh, that sounds really good. I love chili cook-offs, too. Our church is on the fence about doing one, but this week we have a cookie decorating event.
So Friday night.
So,
we'll go down and they have cookie decorating for all of us.
So I don't have much artistic skill, so I'll actually just be contributing as a taste tester. And I am a very good cookie taster.
He's a very good taste tester. Yes. But then it's terrible because I'm a highly competitive individual. So like the little kids that were at church last Sunday, I'm like, you're going down. Yeah. We're having a cookie decorating off or whatever, and I'm gonna whoop your butt. So I'm apparently competing against all the children in church on Friday. So I hope I come out on top.
Speaking of canning, I might give that a try this weekend. Maybe I'm gonna set that.
Yes, you definitely should. It was easy. I like water bath canning. I know I can't use it for everything, but for things like jam and like the jalapenos, it's super easy and it doesn't intimidate me. I think it's a nice beginner step into canning. I really was looking at like pressure canners and things for Christmas gifts to myself after Christmas.
You said your name right.
I did good. I'm glad, because usually you can ask anybody that's in here. Phonetically, I am challenged most of the time.
I tried to overpronounce it. So Herbal Canners. Hello.
Then you got Bruce. He says, "I'm cooking sunchoke. It's going to be a fun night." It is going to be a fun night, isn't it?
It's good.
Ooh, it lights up. I know. I have multiples like this. If you guys keep coming back to our lives every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I usually have on ugly sweaters, but it's a little cold and I wanted this. So I will come more decked out next week. I also think we're thinking about participating in Vlogmas. Maybe. Probably not like to the degree that we did last year. So anybody that's like new in here right now, I participated in Vlogmas last year. So anybody doesn't know that, what that is, you basically are putting out a video every single day from December 1st until December 25th. I only missed like 1 to 2 days last year, but the burnout was real. It was super intense and it caused me a lot of stress, but it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I have like 5 or 6 videos kind of queued up where they're like just finishing editing touches to kind of get a head start. But yeah, so if you guys stick around with us long enough, you'll see a whole lot of us during the month of December.
Yep. And
if you don't like that, that's okay to leave that in the comments. Like, hey, I don't like Vlogmas, because I really want to do a lot of this for you guys. So if you don't like something, I'm more than all ears to hear that you don't like something. And engagement is engagement on YouTube.
I'm always open to feedback.
So Twin Brooks Acre says, my wife is switching to canning after losing our winter supply of homegrown veggies. I am so sorry to hear that, Twin Brooks Acres.
That's always our fear. Our freezer is a little bit older, so we definitely are worried about that happening. I hate hearing it happen to you guys.
I am so sorry to hear that.
Emma had a similar case.
Emma did. It was her kitty. Yeah. Her kitty knocked it, and then she lost a lot of meat. That's what we would primarily lose is meat. We would lose deer, duck, and chickens. We just
put Ashley's deer in there, so we have that in there now. But it's an older freezer. We're actually planning to replace it soon, but that's a fear of ours. We actually had the breaker blow on that one night, and luckily we caught it. And it wasn't
right as it happened.
Yeah, like it just started dropping.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like one of those nights where I usually don't get in the freezer for a lot of things, but I was getting something out. And I'm like, it's quiet. And we went and checked the breaker. It was like, oh Lord,
yeah,
thank
and there was
goodness.
still a ton of ice, but it was like starting to melt, just starting to. So we caught just in time. But hate to hear that happen.
Yeah.
Darren said, "I love chili." Period.
I know.
That's actually what we had tonight.
Yeah.
So Cincinnati around us.
We have Skyline chili.
Yeah, Skyline and Gold Star. And there's actually like 7 different chili companies.
And we all form camps on who has the best chili.
Yeah.
So I mean,
like all of them, so
I do too. I'm really not like that big of a
Skyline,
connoisseur.
I think, because my family seems to like it the most.
Yeah. And then Joe says canning is the way to go. Lots of work, but so rewarding. And Joe is like a guru. I've been going to be asking her a lot of questions here coming soon. I hope you're ready, Joe.
Patty's here tonight. Hello, Patty.
Hello, Patty. Welcome. Nothing like a healthy bit of church competition. Isn't that funny though? Because you're all like, I love you, brother and sister, but you're going down.
It gets competitive.
Competitive.
Joe Mama said pressure canning shouldn't intimidate you either.
But it's just like and it's only because I see stories. Where someone's like, I killed my family with botulism, or the canner explodes and all you see is like a melted stove and like the lid is inserted like up in the hood vent of like the stove. And it drives me crazy because I'm like, that will be me. That will be me. I am phonetically challenged, Emma. I am. You know I am too. You've been in here enough.
Joanne said that's a lot to put out with such a busy time.
It really is.
Of year.
But I'm hoping that I've spent enough time filming in batches and buffering myself that I can do it. But it's one of those things, if you take a break, you get behind like that.
Yeah,
so
we had a fairly open December, but like the last couple of days, it's just like things
been really crazy.
Popped up on our calendar pretty quick.
It's been super duper crazy.
But speaking of canning, Ashley actually did buy a large bag of flour. How big was that?
I bought like I don't know, it's 25-pound bag of flour.
Yeah. And somebody had given us a bunch of old pickle jars that had been cleaned out. And actually we used that to separate it, and we're going to store it. So
I actually have like 5. It's going to be 5 by the time it's done, full of flour. Has anybody ever saved your flour in glass jars? I know that we'll probably add like oxygen absorbers to it, but I also wanted to, because I was thinking, I'm like, we don't use a lot of flour, and this is like an in-case type situation. So I am going to be doing a lot more from scratch cooking with Joe, because she needs to learn you can make cookies, and the mix doesn't always just come in a bag together. Like you can put the ingredients together and make cookies.
So if you guys do have any good ideas on like quick ways to use flour, like simple recipes, low steps, low amount of ingredients,
go to our about page and send us an email on it.
Yeah. Or
in the comments. Or in the chat, whatever. Because
we were wanting to do some with her. But of course, as everybody knows, there's a lot of shortages on things. So we're looking at trying to stockpile some more. We've started in 2020 with things the way they are, but it doesn't look like it's getting better.
No, and
it's a good idea.
I don't want to say that it's fear mongering, but I think it's also a good practice to be prepared and to understand that things sometimes can go sideways, and you don't want to be caught like completely out in the open with your pants down. So,
and that doesn't mean like long term either, as far as like things hit the fan and it goes crazy. But like you're talking about like a bad storm hits your area, and you may be down a week without power.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be like the shortages. It can be like, hey, a huge winter storm's coming, and you could be snowed in for like a week.
Yeah,
you have enough food in your house to keep you for a week.
Yeah.
And it's kind of surprising so many people be like, no. Like I go to the grocery store every other day. I'm like, sometimes we have done that. Yeah. More so around the holidays. We do that a lot too. So free-handedly made says, no way I could do a video every single day. I'm telling you what, it puts you through your paces. And yes, a 1-minute video does count these, because last year I used shorts. So like the shorts where you film like this way rather than vertically. I use those some days to kind of give me a buffer if it was like I've got a bigger video, because you don't want to let quality slip. So like the promise I've made to myself for Vlogmas this year is, if it's not going to be quality and it's not going to offer something of substance to somebody, I'm not going to post that, because there's just way too much there are way too many things out on YouTube and a lot of different social platforms that just are out there to take up space.
Yeah.
And I want to invite you guys into my life. I want you to be part of our family. I want to teach you something. I want you to feel like you're connected to me. And if I'm not achieving one of those things in a video, I'm just not going to post it. I'm not going to make it.
Joe Mama said newer freezers just don't last anymore.
I know. This one's really old. Yeah, this one is an older freezer.
Our dryer is currently down. I actually had to go to the laundromat this week to get our clothes dried, but I took Joe downstairs to help me work on it, and basically the heater element went out. So I've got parts on order. I needed a thermostat too for it, but I will agree, it's just not as robust as things used to be built. But it was fun, because I was trying to teach her the names of like the different screwdrivers.
So she got quizzed when she came upstairs.
Yeah. I think she called a Phillips a Peter.
Yeah, she's like, it's a man's name. It's Peter. I'm like, well, it is a man's name, but it's not Peter.
Don't call it that.
This is a Peter screwdriver. I'm like, no, let's not do that. Oh my goodness.
Let's see.
And then Joe Mama, yes, you're in my eyes. You are guru. I am the grasshopper. That's okay. Hello, Brenda Baker. How are you?
She was in here earlier.
Did I say hello to you already? Oh, that's why I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm saying hello to you too,
does
Brenda.
anyone know why YouTube is saying on all the live slides that you loaded 2 videos instead of live?
I had noticed that too. I don't know, because YouTube is drunk a lot of times. They really are.
Home YouTube after our live.
So pressure canning isn't like grandma's canners. You have lots of safety features. My mom used to do like the pressure cooking, and she always had like the little thing on top where she'd like have to tap it, and it would make all kinds of crazy noises. Yeah. It scared the crap out of me when I was younger, and it scares the crap out of me still.
Wow, look at Mummer Steve there. New equipment this week. Large stock pot with insert, thanks to that, in a cast iron stand with 2 gas burners from Bunnings Hardware.
Chicken scalder complete.
Just need the plucker next. Yes.
Awesome. Well,
definitely recommend the plucker, because we have one and
if you were in Lala Farms, which I know you were, Steve, it looks like Lala Farms made their own plucker, and then Celtic Roots Farm had some issues with their Yardbird. We loved our Yardbird. It worked great, but sometimes there's always going to be like that one-off instance where it just doesn't run the way it should. Hello, well, Twin Brooks, that's fine. I'm glad that you got to stop in and talk with us. It's always nice to see new faces. Darren says, it's wild how many people water bath or oven can everything up here. It's regular practice for moose. We wanted to do that with some deer. I'm really hoping to go out. I'm going to let our woods cool down, because there's a ton of pressure.
One we need to watch is the one by Freedom Homestead.
Yeah, Freedom Homestead has a good one. And I think also Hodgepodge Homestead has if you guys want to like do pantry talks, and John and Heather at Hodgepodge they're fantastic. He does like a pantry chat every week. Yeah. And it is just, I've gotten a lot of ideas from just his pantry chats. So I would encourage you guys to go over there.
It is intimidating how organized he is.
He's super, and he has got it like organized. He's like,
yeah, I'm impressed.
He's like, everything is like the oldest is the left, and as you work to the right, it's like the newest stuff.
Joe Mama asked, "Did you freeze your flour first?" We did not.
Do I need to?
Maybe for the wolves in it.
Oh, that might be it. Yeah, I can still do that though.
I don't know if they're wolves. They have a name for them. I can't remember what they're called.
Weevils.
Weevils.
Yes.
Thank you.
That photo is so fake. Canners don't have 2 lids, and so many other reasons that canners exploded. I'm happy to know that because, like, I guess I am as guilty as most people seeing things like on social media, be like, "Oh my God, that's crazy," and not really doing my own homework in the background.
Here's the video for us to check out. Rebel Canner said, "I have a bread mix in a quart jar video."
Oh, I would love to see that.
So
I'm gonna have to put something else on my watch list.
You don't have paper.
I don't have. I do over here. I will not fall doing it either.
Darren said we vacuum seal lots of flour. That's a good idea.
We have the vacuum bags for that. We could definitely.
Yeah, we also use oxygen absorbers with some of our Mylar, and it works in a similar fashion because it absorbs the oxygen out. So
I don't know why I'm writing this down. I can just go back and view the chat later, but still, if I write it down, I'm more likely to remember it. I'm one of those types of people.
Hello, Betty Randall.
Hello, Betty Randall. Welcome.
Fairview Family Farm said I freeze flour for 2 to 3 days, then store in half-gallon jars with oxygen.
You guys are so good because I haven't taken it downstairs yet, so I can still do that. Awesome. We buy bulk sugar, flour, beans, and we've vacuum sealed most of those things except for the flour.
Yeah.
And I think it's because we just have like the big jars that we wanted to water glass eggs with it, but now it's wintertime and the molt just completed. We're getting a couple of eggs, but not like enough where I really wanted to water glass. I'm kind of wanting to savor those fresh eggs as long as I can before they completely stop.
Yep.
Seed Faith Homestead, hello.
Stephanie said vacuum seal with a moisture absorber in the package for your flour.
Awesome.
So we need to do some extra steps to our flour.
That's all right. We can vacuum seal and then put them in the jars.
He said I haven't checked my flour. Need to though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've heard like it's a six month to a year life on the shelf. What I was reading, but then there's like it's like about everything on the internet. 20 different answers to one question. So I'm gonna have to look into it. Pressure canning only for me. I have read that, Joe Mama.
So you can't do the water?
No, you can't do that with that. Well, thank you, Lala Farm, for rating us and coming over and saying hello.
And the shirt.
And the shirt. Yeah, because I'm super excited. So I will send you an email. Thanks so much. At me. Well, don't let her yell too long.
Patty said, I used to oven can. Oh, where'd it go? It jumped on me. There it is. I used to oven can beef. My mother-in-law did it that way, and no one ever got sick.
Maybe that's what I have to do. There's just so many ways to do things.
Yeah, like we said, we just got some deer from Ashley's Deer, so we definitely want to can some of it if we can.
Well, I'm hoping to get another one. I really want to get another one. I just need to let the woods cool down.
Get some squirrels at least, but
yeah,
I just think it's a good idea to focus on prepping again, especially since we'll be indoors more with the weather getting cold.
Yeah,
it'll give us something to focus on, and
it will.
I just don't feel like the shortages are going to stop happening anytime soon.
Well, and we also feel like around the holidays, everybody gets holly jolly. They get their lighted hats on, and they're just happy all the time. But then, like, there's that. I don't know if anybody else suffers from this, but like after the holidays are gone, like I do like hit this like dip where like just emotionally it's like a huge letdown. And we were talking, I'm like, when that hits people and things are just kind of tense right now, I feel like it will exacerbate. And with a lot of things that are happening that are scaring the crap out of everybody all around the world right now, like I think it's going to kind of just hit the nos on that vehicle to go a lot faster. And I don't want to be caught.
We try to keep an open mind on it, but also watching things and just seeing firsthand.
Well, food preservation is an important skill that a lot of people do not have anymore anyways.
I was just reading a news article, and I can't remember what news source it was, but it was a bigger one, and they were talking about are you using too much water, and people are thinking that means there could be a water shortage coming. So, which isn't good.
I will put on I'm going to keep my tinfoil hat like over here in this drawer where you guys don't see it.
It's just like anything else. I mean, anything there can be a shortage of anything.
I know, there can be a shortage of anything. We are very spoiled here. Like, 100%. We are spoiled. But
I like the fact of just having stuff on hand also. Like, for our church, we do help needy families at time. times. And if they have a sudden can drive or something that pops up, it's also wonderful just being able to go grab something before we head that way.
Yeah, that is another reason why we keep some things on hand too, because you never know when you're going to have somebody that's in need. That, I mean, especially if you have like a giving heart. And I know that Mark and I definitely have a heart to help people. And it's really hard, and especially for myself, because I'll be like, we need to do this for him. He's like, just easy. We need to look at the situation, see what's best for them and what's going to help them the most. Because like I will throw everything in the kitchen sink at him and be like, I want to help you. He is the voice of reason. So that's another reason to keep like some things on hand, you know, I mean, extra blankets, pillows, all kinds of things like that. You never know what can help somebody else.
Definitely.
And then Emma is a killer mod for me tonight and has already posted the link for Rebel Canners. Make ahead bread mix in a quarter jar.
That is definitely going to be on our watch list.
That is so fantastic.
Probably after this. Jemima said you can make your own pancake mix, Jiffy mix, and vacuum seal it.
Oh, I will have to do that.
That would be awesome, because Ashley had a hankering for pancakes earlier at lunch today, and during her lunch break at work, which is she works from home, she went in and made pancakes.
You can tell Missy came out and he's like, something smells delicious. And I'm like, out here like stuffing my face with chocolate chip pancakes.
She's usually not a big pancake person, so it was a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah, I usually don't, but like it just sounded wonderful. And I didn't offer him any, but your lunch was already done. You ate before me, so I figured you wouldn't want any.
Bear White said, I put the flour in a paper bag before I vacuum seal it, less mess.
That makes a lot of sense.
And there we are at one. Ross and Ski family says we are at 1 year.
Oh, that's nice.
I think that's when they were checking their flour.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good length on the shelf.
Howdy, cuz. How are you, Audra?
Jemima, you will find there are many different schools of thought on preserving food.
I know. Yeah. And I am very, I don't want to say that I'm impressionable, but I am definitely impressionable. So I will probably get very confused before I actually pull the trigger on things. I think that's probably why I haven't been as involved with like canning and stuff, because I read there's like 3 or 4 different ways to do one thing and I become overwhelmed. And rather than just like trying it and seeing if it works for me, I put it back on the shelf and I say, I'll get to it. And then I never get to it. So I'm going to have to break that habit.
Patty also said, Patty said, look at University of Utah's. I think it is their info on storage of flour and grains was studied. That's always nice when they do full studies on that, because they usually have a lot of facts and details based on their studies. So
I'm writing it down.
Like that's it.
See, just so you have proof, like I'm writing things down.
I think they believe you. Scribbling there. Rebel Canners, post-holiday depression is real, definitely.
It really is. There's a huge
letdown is real too. Yep.
And like I'm terrible. After the first of the year, like I will take all of my Christmas decorations down, and because it's just like for me, I don't know. It's just like mentally, I'm like it's over. I don't want to, dwell on it. But at the same time, after it's gone, I'm like.
Oh, on a quick note, we have a member of our community that's not feeling well. Margie is usually here, and her partner. Let Ashley know that they weren't feeling well. So if you're praying, to say a quick prayer for them, they could use it.
They would love to have that.
Yeah, just wanted to throw that in there real quick.
Unless Margie's lurking, because sometimes Margie will lurk too. In which case, she's totally fine to lurk. But I want her to take care of herself.
Jemima said it's always a good idea to have a fully stocked working pantry. It's a way of life.
It really is. It really is, especially when you start talking to like the older generation. Like we did that anyways. Like you guys are acting like this is new, and we did that.
Yeah.
Like my mom, when growing up, like I didn't understand, especially like with my dad. My dad was kind of like a change of life baby, like right after the Great Depression, and the stuff that they saved and the stuff they used to do, I'm like, why are you doing that? And now as I've gotten older and more aware of things happening in the world and how fragile our food supply chain is, like it's really been a wake-up call.
I think unfortunately the convenience of the stores everywhere and getting things delivered to your home or getting quick pickup at Walmart and stuff has changed that way of life to make it where, I can just get it at, beck and call at any moment I need it.
But like that also is why this lifestyle that we've chosen to be a part of is I won't say it's a dying lifestyle, but I'll say like it's almost forgotten. Yeah. You have a lot of people that move away from it because they're like, why would I put in all this time to grow a tomato plant when I could just go buy something?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, but then you don't understand the work that
I think
goes
there's also
into
a sense of pride behind it too.
There is.
So you have to have that to really enjoy it too, I think.
Yeah, to acknowledge.
I agree there's a benefit to it.
Yeah, there really is. It really is.
Emma said, pancakes for lunch sounds yummy.
Was so delicious.
Yeah, I could smell them. I was on my call.
He came in, he's like a bloodhound. He's like, something smells good. I'm like, I made pancakes.
Emma said we had soup day at work, and it was my turn. Made a ton of, was it pozole? And only had one bowl worth left.
We have it for lunch tomorrow.
Yeah,
yum. Are your eyes bothering you again?
No, it was like a glare right there on the screen. But yeah, I had chicken noodle, but it was out of a can. It was still pretty.
It was, yeah. I'm not Susie Homemaker. I need to do better.
Yeah.
Well,
so
especially like Wednesdays
person,
or not.
Honestly.
Yeah, we didn't get raised on soup.
Mm-hmm.
Like
now,
Mom was
eat
like
it
a meat
several
and potatoes
times a
person.
week. Like that'd be my go-to.
He's like, "Do you want the soup?" I'm like, "No."
Yeah. Well, there's like so many different flavors, which is nice, and it's always comes in a can, which is cheap and can stay on a shelf.
There are some that I really like, but like even my chili is super meaty, and I will throw in like the macaroni noodles. I will do like chili mac because like I need more substance. Like I don't like it to be runny for some reason. It gets me. I don't like it.
Joe Mama said I tend to steer away from Rebel canning unless it makes a scientific safe sense. Just because something can be canned doesn't mean it should be.
Yeah, I've seen that when people like can milk on the canning, and then it's just like there's a big line right in the middle of those two cans, and I'm just like getting the popcorn out. Like, what are we gonna say here? So, yeah, and
it's like everything else on the internet too. You can get a ton of different opinions. You have to be careful to sort of filter through.
So then Audra says, I am awful at making pancakes from scratch, but there is a pancake mix that is sold around here called Aretha Frankenstein's, and it makes the best and fluffiest pancakes ever. That sounds good. Mine wasn't from scratch. Mine was definitely out of a box. But after we bought all this flour, I'm like, it would be really good for Joe to learn, like, here's how you make these ingredients. It doesn't just come from a box. Like, they kind of just combine it all for you and make it super convenient.
Emma said, "Oh, poor Margie."
I know. I was so bummed to hear that. Who is that at Homestead Overland? Who's that guy? I'm sorry, Josh. How are you, bud? I haven't seen you forever. The Reef Robber, hello. How's everybody doing?
Emma said, "My parents used to give us a hard time about butchering our own chickens. After this year, they finally understand, and my dad even offered to help with butchering."
And that right there, like, it's such a testament to, like,
that's a big win.
How even like current events have changed the way people think about things. And I actually was talking to my boss. He surprises the crap out of me. Like, he's a carpenter, he's a culinary expert, and like we were talking about duck and how to cook duck and how to make chicken broth, and like he was just naming off all these things. And I'm like, please send me email with all this information in it. But like there's this weird exchange of information now, especially about food and where food comes from and how to get food and how to make things and how to preserve food. And like I soak it up. And when people come, they're like, hey, I don't know how to butcher a chicken. Like Kat from Wolf's Head Farm and Forage, when they bought that buck for me, we're talking about butchering chickens, and I told them the next time we butcher chickens, because they've never done it, I'm like, come on up, But I think that's something that's wonderful about this homesteading community is there's a wealth of knowledge and nobody guards it. Nobody safeguards that information. Like, it is one of those things where I'm like, take it, like take the information. Let's do an information swap. And honestly, God, that's how it should be. In all things, that's how it should be. I hate it when someone wants to guard their trade because they're afraid you will take their trade. And it's like, no, I don't want to take from you. Like, I want to learn. I want to learn from you. And learning is not taking. Learning is sharing. Yeah. So, yeah, that's my spiel on that. I don't want to get too carried away because then I'll drone on.
Stephanie said, yes, I love thick chili with macaroni noodles. That's how I am making my goat chili.
Really?
Man, that sounds right up our...
I'll shoot you a message on Facebook. I want your goat chili recipe.
Roskinski said, I won third place in a chili out of 21 contestants the other day. First time ever entering a contest.
That's awesome. Out of 21, you must have made some pretty awesome chili.
Yep. That is awesome.
Do you make your soupy or do you make it chunky, spicy, or sweet?
What was your meat in it?
Yeah.
Was it venison? Was it beef? Was it pork?
Chicken. Everybody makes the white chicken chili now, which is really good too.
Yeah.
I try anything when it comes to canning once. I try anything. Yeah.
True.
Oh, so Joe Mama, go to my video just because like I don't want to throw it like out there But she openly commented on a video. Her and Roger are down like with the corona. So
just keep them in your prayers.
Yep. Yeah, because she commented on the video today and was talking about not maybe being able to be here tonight.
And she's having to take care of Roger. I think she said that in the lives a couple times.
He's not been doing well medically. So yeah. If you're praying people, I believe in the power of prayer, and they have been in my prayers constantly.
Homestead Overland saying, I've been stupid busy season with my business, but things slow down on the 7th. Relief.
Are you just like
that's coming up fast? So
yeah, the 7th isn't good. It's not
just
long.
Stick in there.
Just hang in there. You got this.
Fairview said not a fan of any canned noodles so far.
Oh,
So are you canning them after they've been cooked, or are they still? That's what I'm thinking.
Or are you talking about like canned noodle soup, like chicken noodle soup?
Oh, true.
I'm
because we were talking about that before. Weren't we?
I know. Emma said, "Preach, girl. I'll get up on the pulpit and I will preach this stuff all the live long day if you let me."
Josh said it sounds like an open source.
Yeah.
Emma, preach it, girl. Audra said, "Good chili sounds so yummy." It does.
Yeah. It gets a bad rap, but if you've had deer, like they're in the ruminant family too. So
Ozinski said organic beef and pork.
Ooh, that sounds delicious.
That sounds amazing.
I don't usually put pork in my chili.
I bet it would do well with the fat with pork.
I bet it does like reduce down and puts its fat out into the
That'd be amazing. No wonder that did so
well. Look at all of you guys cooking up storms. Like, can y'all just send me a recipe?
Yeah. For Hanley said, I'm heading out. It was awesome to meet you all at Lala Farm
nice
tonight.
to meet you too. Glad that you got to hang out with us for a little bit.
Black's Tropical Homestead.
Hello, Soil Family. How are you doing?
You as well.
Hope you guys are doing well.
Joe Mama said, yes, prayer's gotten us through this summer with my husband. Yes.
I know you've been going through a lot of things too. My heart goes out to you guys because I don't know how you do it. It's just
something we
tough.
rely on heavily as well.
Yes. And then Seed Faith Homestead says, we like thick chili. I like lots of beans, and Russell likes lots of meat. I throw in as many beans, like the hot beans too, like the mild, like or
now,
heated
the funny
beans.
thing though with her is she never writes it down, so each time it's going to taste a little different.
It's an ancestral chili. That's why I like when the ancestral voices say it's good.
Yeah, it's
done. But I never write
the one I like is the one that she's made it a couple times and got the mixture just right, where it starts off sweet but then has heat on the back.
Yeah, it's got some heat on the back burn. So
yeah, it's sort of cool how it changes after you smell it.
Maybe I'll have to start writing. But I literally do. I would just take a ball and be like.
Stephanie said, yes, reach out to me and I will share the recipe with
you.
Yay,
fantastic. Then Patty said, oh, that short new grow. My brother's hair was like that when he was 2 and 3. I lived rubbing my head. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mac and cheese. Hey, what are you eating, Joe? What are you eating?
Pickles. Oh. Did you think she was eating mac and cheese?
I didn't. Well, that made me think of it. Yeah. She's eating pickles.
Herbal Canner said, my secret to thick chili is a can of refried beans.
That sounds amazing.
That would make sense. That would thicken things up.
Refried beans.
I like refried beans just straight.
Yeah, like at the Mexican restaurant, just like piling on my chicken.
Fairview Family Farm said they rave about it in the canning group. Soggy noodles. Yuck.
Ugh.
See, I like noodles, so I would probably be fine with that.
Making it like
the other day we tried, what was it? Hamburger helper with deer meat, and it turned out pretty well.
It turned out really good.
She does not like the consistency of it though.
It got real clumpy real fast. And I'm guessing that has to do with the lean meat of venison not having a ton of fat. Is it just to make it like heavy and sits heavy? It was good, but like I'm a consistency and a texture person, so like that got me. I got through my whole bowl. It was good. I just focused that it was really good.
A thick sauce with it.
Yeah.
We
never just had it growing up.
Picked up the beef stroganoff mix, and we're going to try that with you.
And the chili mac one we're going to do. Yeah. You still haven't tried, Emma. The next time you're in Indiana, you're coming to my house, and this one's going to cook you deer steak because he makes it so good.
Compliments to like a bunch of hunting shows where they do the backwoods. I love watching where they do cooking on like a backwoods campfire and use
Yeah, the one guy
like
we watched,
cast
like
iron and all that. It's just
he
amazing.
like totally dressed out a
What
squirrel and like quartered it and like did it in the cast iron over the campfire and did like squirrel and
What
gravy.
seems
It was
big
really,
now
it
is
looked wonderful.
buy the big woks, like the big
I've
bowl
seen
style,
that, yeah.
the shallow bowls, and they
Mhm.
can mix a lot of things together. Those have seemed to have gotten real popular on all those shows.
Yeah.
I think because they just make it easy to cook a variety of things, vegetables or whatever.
And Audra says, I like deer and I love, love, love Indian food. Stop. And they use goat a lot. So I've had goat several times. It's always so tender. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 100%.
Unless it's an old goat.
It's an old goat or it's a running buck, in which case. And then I learned something. We've been watching The Bearded Butchers a lot lately, mostly because we're trying to prepare for processing our own deer. And they were like, all the game is mostly in the fat. They're like, so when you get it back from your processor, that's why you don't see a whole lot of fat on these. Like, number one, they're lean animals. But number two, like any good processor knows that gaminess resides in the fat, and they try to get as much of that out as they can.
Yeah.
Which I never knew that before, because we were talking about like when you get deer sausage, I know that you have to add pork fat because the fat from the deer is not enough. It's a very lean fat. It burns off, but also because it's gamey. I didn't realize that was the reason why they didn't really reuse that fat in the sausage. Made total sense.
Joe Mama said, have you ever tried malta vinegar on your chili mac? Sounds gross, but it's good. So
You're right. It does sound gross, but I'm willing to try everything at least one time.
Malta vinegar on anything.
You guys are broadening our horizons tonight. I am super excited about that.
Hattie said, if you all would pray for me, I'd appreciate it. Estate sale today. I'm living with friends and also sick now. Seasonal crud, not COVID, thankfully. Just a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that going around, that seasonal crud. Me and Ashley had headaches last week when we were.
And so did his sister and like their whole family.
It was
so
just
like
a headache. That's all it was.
You just woke up with a headache right here for like
it was
a couple
just like
days.
A small nagging one that was.
Yeah, it was just an annoying headache.
But like I've talked to two of my coworkers are sick right now, and they got tested. It's not COVID, but just that seasonal time of year where.
Yeah, and estate sales, like that can be some emotional stuff mixed in with like the physical wear out. Sure. So yes, we will, and we will always turn in. If anybody ever has anything they want prayed over, like feel free to shoot us an email. You can shoot me any messages on Facebook. I almost always, if someone reaches out to me, I even take it to church. I'll even put an unspoken, or if it's okay, like we will tell them we have someone that is going through this certain situation that they want prayer. Yeah,
we keep it anonymous if you want.
Yeah.
So feel like you have to share.
Don't hate me, but we haven't had chili at home in over a year. It's just not a thing.
Yeah,
hey, that's okay.
You are making tacos and chimichangas and all that crazy stuff, so you get a pass, Emma. You get a pass.
Yeah, and I've seen what Issa makes for you guys, like on Facebook and Instagram, and I just am jealous. So you're all right. You get a pass on the chili because you make everything else.
Audra said recipes are just guidelines. The fun of cooking is that.
Right? I can see see,
I'm very technical, so I have to follow to a T.
100%. But you remember Mama was like that. Like she would just like throw in like bacon fat and salt, and it was never measured. She just like throw stuff in.
She's been cooking for years, so she probably knew it like the back of her hand.
Are you saying I'm not a well-versed cook?
You'll get there. I'm kidding.
God, you see this blatant disrespect?
Look, it's Haas.
Look, redirection.
Yeah. Haas is always good for that. Haas will get your mind up. Like, digging that toboggan, and how about them Boilermakers? I didn't see how they did. I'll have to check them out. I'll be honest. The last 2 years, I've just given up on sports, so I don't watch much of it. Although my New England Patriots started getting on a win streak, and I started following them. In Tampa Bay.
Because Brady went to Tampa Bay.
Only two I keep up with anymore.
Hello,
I used to be huge.
Sila Homestead. How are you? You do not need to apologize for being so late. It's okay. You're writing chili tips down too. Me too.
Yeah. We should just have a live about chili.
Yeah.
I could handle that.
That'd be totally wonderful. Maybe that's the only way we'll get a recipe right. I should cook it, and like you guys can keep track of what I'm putting in. So if it's good, we have a record of what I put in there. Hello, Mr. MT Homestead. How are you? Good to see you. Yes, I said hello.
Emma said, Mark, do you follow Jeremiah Dowdy on Instagram? His username is From Field to Plate. If you don't, I think you'd like it.
I think I do.
Yeah, I've seen that name. Yeah.
At Field to Plate.
I need to check him out more often now because I haven't looked at him in a while. But I think I've seen some of his videos. I remember because that just sounds familiar. From Field to Plate.
I love watching the bearded butchers though. Those guys are hilarious. They have a ton of knowledge too because they've been doing it since they were young. It was their family, their mother and father started it butchering out bison, right?
Yeah.
And they're in Ohio, so they're just like right next door.
I love watching a guy.
I didn't say it's hot.
Handle a knife like
I said that it was mesmerizing,
that.
like how they just like had. I don't know. There's just something about watching someone like do an art like that. And like they knew like the grain to go with, and he could look at the cards like this cut, this cut, this cut, this cut, this cut, and this is where this landed. It was just amazing because like just the artisanship of it was what was mesmerizing me. I was like, wow, like
they do
really
a very good job explaining why they're doing it too. Which is
malt vinegar, babe.
Oh, my bad.
So Rebel Canner says tomato juice will cut the gamey taste of venison. The gamey is also from what they eat. Corn-fed venison is like, yes, it is. In Indiana, we would probably have more corn-fed throughout the year if they allowed us to bait during hunting season. That is absolutely illegal. Yeah. We're not allowed to do that.
My venison, I've had good luck with adding butter because milk will take some of that gamey taste out. Same way it works with fish.
Yeah. So if you don't like fishy taste, just set your fish in some milk in the fridge. So
I'll use butter. I'll use quite a bit of butter. And then garlic, and then I beat the
snot out of it
to death because
they're a tough animal.
Yeah, they have a lot of fibers in their meat, and when I tenderize it, I go all out, and it actually helps break it down.
It really does. It really
so once I start doing that, because I honestly don't like chewy steak. Like I'm just not a fan of it. I get.
Yeah, and I can probably count. I can count on probably one hand how many times I've had gamey deer.
And deer just are tough.
Like, well, and here's the thing too. Like a lot of that gaminess, there's so much anatomy-wise that goes on from the moment of harvesting a deer to like, and by harvesting I mean like you are basically taking its life to its expiration, to being gutted, to being cooled. I mean, if you do not gut your deer quickly and you don't cool down the body quickly, or you leave that blood in the muscle and you don't drain the blood, it's going to taste bad. There's a lot of adrenaline, a lot of hormones that get pumped into the system. But if you get it out, the quicker you get cooled off, the better the deer's going to taste.
And Rebel Canners, what else do you season it with tomato juice? I'd like to try that once. So
me too. Christmas at Crestline, welcome. We did talk about Vlogmas. I'm going to attempt it. I tried it last year. It almost killed me.
Hard no.
Smart Josh. Josh is smart.
I like Josh. He always gives you a straight answer.
Because it about killed me last year. You can ask him. I'd be like, what am I going to cook?
Yeah, it was exhausting for us both.
Yeah, and I just made, like I told them, I've made myself a promise. If it's not going to be of substance or offer something that's helpful to build connection or to make you guys feel like you're a part of my life, then I'm just not going to film it and put it out there.
Stephanie said, I found a new favorite. Add ground goat to mac and cheese with extra cheese. Oh my goodness.
Yum. That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Bye, Joe. Nice to have you in here.
I need to catch up. There it is. Audra said, I'm going to send a video to you that reminds me of Mammal's cooking. It's a hilarious video.
Oh, that makes me super excited. I always tell people about when she like pinched people, like waiters. They'd come to take her plate. She'd like pinch. She's like, I'm not done yet. Get them.
Mr. MT Homestead said, I thought I was subbed to you, but I resubbed, and now I know Terry is on our main channel, so now you have the whole family.
Oh, that's awesome. You know, YouTube is weird like that. I've had to find a lot of people again where I'm like, I watch you regularly, but then all of a sudden I was like, where'd they go?
Some of ours got kicked. So
yeah,
I think I had to go back and resub
recently. So. Well, sometimes they're not even right in their cleanups because I'm like, I watch them regularly. I don't know why you unsubscribed me.
Definitely. Audra said, yeah, I'll sometimes catfish and buttermilk, although I don't mind the catfishiness.
I don't either.
Catfish.
I kind of like the fishy taste. So Rebel Kinner says, my dad used to beat flour with the edge of a plate into our venison steaks before frying. That makes sense.
That sounds good.
There's more to do with our flour.
Emma said Jeremiah shared a recipe the other day for venison Big Mac egg rolls. It looks amazing.
That sounds awesome.
Sounds
amazing.
We could definitely do that.
Yeah. Well, the connection signal went wonky. I thought maybe it had because like we got like a little sign like for the connection. So I'm sorry if we like blanked out.
Yeah, for a bit.
Yeah. We're here though. We're here for you guys.
Haas said getting it cool is a big holdup for me hunting here in Florida.
Yeah, you guys, you're gonna have to back it with ice.
Yeah,
and even then, your ice is gonna not last very long.
No.
Yeah, that does suck. You guys do have a totally different element to fight than we do here.
Rosinski said, we just got done processing 2 deer ourselves. We made sausage, burger, and jerky. Oh, that sounds amazing.
Audra says, OMG, I was talking about her binging waiters just the other day. My grandma, so anybody doesn't know, obviously methamphetamine in the chat is my cousin Audra. And our grandmother was just a hoot. And she was from Tennessee. She would like cook her green beans with like tons of bacon fat and salt, like to the point where you're like, I don't taste green beans, I taste
stories
salt.
About the salty.
She loved to salt things.
As well.
She loved to salt things a lot.
Rosinski, I was going to ask, what type of sausage do you make? Because that's one thing I think is cool. When we go to our processor, we have like a wide selection of sausages. You have like breakfast sausage, summer sausage,
jalapeno sausage.
Yeah,
they have all kinds of different types of sausage. The maple sausage is.
Yeah, that's a winner for us.
So good. So. Hello, Mama Burton. How are you?
Are you ready for your craft show coming up?
Yes, she has a craft open house this weekend, and we're super excited.
We have a barn on our property, and they decorated. My mom's done crafts for years. That was her work on the side while she taught us because we were homeschooled. Me, my sister, my brother, and she also did crafts. So she has some for the upcoming Christmas season.
She always has the cute stuff. And then Haas says, all I know is I don't have to worry about fishiness when
Gordon makes my face.
This is true.
Like Gordon's fish sticks.
Me too. I am a total child. I will microwave me up a mess of fish sticks in a pinch. Josh says, since I have been in my business season, I've only been able to sneak in the woods to hunt once.
Oh.
I did see a picture of you, and it was with your son. That's so awesome.
Yeah, like, I did see that.
Super duper. Like, I love seeing kids out there in the field.
It's a special time to be with them.
It is.
It is getting harder, it seems like, each year to get out in the woods, though. I mean, it's like you almost have to just basically drop everything and be like, this is what I'm going to do.
And so, Josh, and I mean, anybody else in here that hunts actively.
She does it much more than I do.
But I really enjoy it. And he probably would hunt more if I didn't hog the stand. Honestly, I would just tell him, like, I'm going out Saturday.
We were talking to next year. We have a family friend that does deer processing. We've used them in the past. They're really good. They have a good setup and everything. And next year, I'm probably thinking about asking them if I could start working for them part-time.
Just to get
so I can learn the ins and outs. And they process everything, not just deer. Honestly, they're a full butcher shop.
He did bison one time. Like, he traded bison for something else.
Honestly, it'd probably be sacrificing hunting to do that, but I think at the same point, it'd be a skill.
I got it covered. So. But my question for you guys that hunt, do you guys find like the rest of the day you are worthless?
Yeah.
Because we were talking this show like that, and it's been, I felt it the last couple of years, but this year especially, like after coming in from a hunt, especially a cold hunt, where it's just like, I'm done. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to move. I want to sit still and I want to get warm.
We've talked about maybe doing is we've always done the morning hunts. It's just been our routine. But possibly doing afternoon hunts. That's just something we haven't done much of.
Well,
Josh, I don't know if you go out early or afternoon.
Yeah, I feel like your guys' was in the morning.
Yeah, I think I saw it early in the morning.
But honestly, like I could probably, we've only sat out in the afternoons, and in our hunting location, we hunt deep woods. So like really, we will get action that you can hear if you get in early enough, which if I have these guys until like they're not getting in much earlier than daylight. So I can hear them moving. I try to get in my stand about an hour before daylight, and I can hear them moving around my stand, and then I don't get them again until like maybe an hour after daylight. It's odd for anything to come by an hour, like between sunrise and the hour after sunrise, because we're deep woods, so they take longer to come back to that bedding area. So, I mean, we haven't hunted the afternoon stands very often there, but we might need to. Then maybe we'll be so tired.
Look at that. Onion and garlic sausage. That sounds amazing.
Sounds so good. Man, that sounds good. Then methamphetamine, which is Audra, says, Mom was the same way with salt. She used to eat crab legs with salt and melted butter, then salt the crab leg after dipping it in the salted melted. Yes.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yes.
I don't know that much salt, though.
It's good. Salt's good.
It is.
So probably not for the old ticker, but it's good.
Gordon Ramsay might be proud. He always yells at him, what does it need?
He's so bland.
Dee's Home said, put in more stands. Yeah, we've got
we're going to.
Yeah.
We're
we
going
need to change up the directions of them because we've had some changes in the properties nearby too.
Well,
so
and
that's definitely our plan.
I'm ridiculous, and it's because I'm lazy. I do have a self climber, so as long as because I don't usually get enough time to go out and scout the really good trees. And self climbers can be a little tricky too in the dark. If you get the wrong angle and you go up way too high where your stand is like this, you got to make sure you got your harness on. You should never get in a tree without a harness anyways, but you're probably going to fall out and kill yourself. I do have a self climber, so I can go where the deer are. It's just it takes more tracking time, and I need to get out there quicker and earlier because it takes more time to get it all set up, and to get up in a tree quietly with a self climber is difficult.
Yeah.
So, but yes, more stands.
Josh said, I'm planning to go as much as they can after the 7th. Well, best of luck.
I'm super excited for you. I hope you get one.
Will you guys be in like archery season then, just exclusively, or do you guys have gun season?
Yeah, how long? Because you're in Virginia, right?
I don't know what their season's timings are.
Yeah, CD says yes, drained. It is draining, and it's like I'm just sitting here.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering if like we did the afternoon also to see if it changed patterns. But then you run with the frustration of we're trying to work to get things done on the farm.
Yeah.
So we'll spend like
stop a project is tough, especially if there's daylight. So I feel like that's why we go more towards the morning, because I'm like we can come home and push ourselves to be productive.
I am bad for just hating choppy days, like chopping up your day.
He really does. Like that will be the day he will gripe about everything. If we've like had to stop and go, like, which I totally
just don't
get
even want to start.
I totally get that though, because you do get kind of like in a groove and a mindset that you're working on something. When you stop, you don't want to go back to it.
Like my luck, you always run into a hang up and you're trying, it takes extra time and then you just don't get it finished.
There's always a hang up.
Like I said, our dryer's down right now and I bought a part and I need another part. And that's
I told him like, it's okay. I went to the laundromat, so we're good for like a week. So Red Silo says, yep, this year is a bust for hunting. My really old parents are having to move in with us next week due to medical reasons. So maybe life does get in the way. And good for you for kind of knowing like, hey, things can be put on hold. There's always next year. Because I know some people, he might turn into a widow if I didn't have some sense. Like I would love to be out there all the time. I'd quit my job during deer season.
And kudos to you taking care of your parents. That's awesome.
Because a lot of people usually just, and there are certain situations where that's required because they require more medical help than you can provide. I get that. Not shaming anyone.
Said, my husband and daughter are the only ones who has hunted this season. I was supposed to go today for my birthday, but never happened. Spent today cooking my own birthday dinner. Oh,
Mrazinski, come over to my house. I'll cook you a dinner.
Cooking those onion and garlic sausages, though.
Yeah.
I'd say you're in pretty good shape.
That's true. Or are you like me and you like don't trust them to like cook certain dishes? Because I'm kind of like that. Sometimes if it's specific, I'm like, no, I'm the only one that cooks this because it's made a certain way.
Josh said we did early AM, but we were on the move a good bit and it was brisk, so I actually felt quite zesty afterwards.
That is, well, and see, that's a lost art too, is like the stalk hunt. A lot of us will get like in a stand and stay there. And like I've heard so many people like, man, if the deer are moving, get down, get moving, and go find them.
The problem is we're pretty restricted.
We are restricted in our space. Yeah. So now if we did public hunts, that would be fine, but that's also a gamble with your life because a lot of people out here, there's a reason you wear the hunter safety orange. Yeah. I mean, it's.
Audra said, "Where's the lamp sauce?"
I can see him beating the table. Yeah. Where's the lamp sauce?
Calling him a donkey. Oh,
donkey. He calls him a lot worse than a donkey.
He's heading out. He said, good to stop by. Yep.
Thanks so much for jumping in, Josh. I hope that your busy season goes fast the rest of the way out.
And good luck after the 7th if we don't talk again. So fingers crossed.
Yes.
Fairview Family Farm said we have a local store with a deli that makes over 200 flavors of brats in-house. Wow. That is impressive.
That's amazing. You would never get bored. You could go every time and get something new.
Sounds like
Celtic Roots Farm. Welcome, Jay and Cheryl. How are you?
We're doing well.
We're doing good.
Hope you are as well.
I loved watching you guys on the Lala Farm live. I loved your guys', and I was talking earlier about you guys, about your Idaho pasture pigs, because we were getting ready to do pigs hopefully next year, and we were kind of up in I wanted coonies because I kind of get stuck in like the cliche of things, and they're super cute with the big noses and not rooting. But then I've heard a lot about the Idaho pasture pigs, and I thought maybe that would be a nice marrying of our two wants, because he's more like, let's go for like the commercial type pigs, and I'm like, no, let's go for a heritage breed. And I feel like the Idaho pasture pig is kind of right in the middle. How do you think they are like in growth? Because I know coonies, you have to wait up to like 18 months for them to get to butcher weight, and that's a lot of money invested in feed. If you decide to feed and if you don't have enough graze available to them. So that's a lot of questions for you at one time, just welcoming you in here, but I'm excited you're here.
I must say I've never hunted before. Maybe I can come to your place for a weekend and go hunting with you, Ashley. I can cook you dinner for the stay.
Oh my God, Emma, please. Awesome. Please come. I would love to take you hunting with me. We do have 2 stands, so you guys. Yes, we have a double. We could sit together, but we'd probably talk a lot.
But gun season's over, so you'd have to go.
That's all right. I give you a crossbow. I teach you how to use a crossbow, and I could carry a compound. We got this, Emma. Come on out. That'd take me hunting.
I told you we need an extra bedroom just in case people want to come and hang out.
We do. Well, we have like the space downstairs. It's just, that's another project.
That kind of has just gotten stopped. Honestly, with the winter coming up. So yeah, we got some framing up, some walls. We have a roughed-in bathroom down there, so we'd like to put a bedroom next to it and have a bed and bath.
So then if Emma ever wants to come, or anybody that's friends with us from our YouTube family here, you come stay with us.
And I think I got Ashley on the winning point with finishing the bathroom down there, because I was going to do the whole thing in tile.
So I can wash dogs and goats down there.
She would just wash whatever she needs to. She has to go through a little bit of the house, but not much.
Not much. But my dog, my big Great Pyr mix that also lives inside, hates baths, but she loves to roll in dead things. So, and usually it's like right on her face where I have to physically pick her up, because like I have to drag her into the bathroom to do that. Yeah. And she's a big wimp, and I'm a big wimp in the winter. I won't do it outside.
Who else out there dreads this time of year? Because the dogs will go out and just trek in mud, and they come in just.
It is what it is. Our house is lived in. It's okay.
For sure.
So.
Emma said, "I can crash on your couch. I'm not fancy."
I like the way you roll, Emma.
Anytime.
Come on.
Celtic Roots said, "Ours are massive already. They are 7 months old right now. They do root, as all pigs do, but not as much as other breeds. Been best tasting pork I've ever had." That sounds like a win right there.
So are you down for Idaho pasture pigs?
Yes, if they're
I'm pretty sure I've seen them in this area. That's the other thing. You get some areas where they're just saturated with like all those homesteading breeds, and then you get in other places where there's not.
For me, it would be a big change. I mean, we raised pigs growing up for 4-H, and they were Yorkshire, Hampshire, spotted, whatever. So it was just traditional pigs. They rooted. We typically had a concrete pad, or we eventually had a concrete pad board, so that basically they stayed on that. Made it 10 times easier to clean when it came 4-H time, because then they weren't just stained with mud and dirt and like everything like that. So yeah. But for me, just the more traditional style pig would be fine for us.
Yeah. Like, I want the cute fuzzy ones, but have the squish nose that are not supposed to root. But you're right though, Jay, or Cheryl, whoever's responding. I have a feeling it's Jay. But they do root if you don't give them enough room, because they get bored. Pigs are smart animals.
That's one thing we had to do. I was telling Ashley, is like anchor everything down, because they'll flip. If they can get their nose under it, they'd flip it. Whether it was a food trough, water bowl. We have our old water from 4-H, which is basically a pipe with a nipple, and they can just drink out without spilling it. So we've got some things.
Yeah, and that's another thing where we're very involved with 4-H. Anybody that's been in here long enough, like like we are 4-H nerds. We'd love to be involved with our community and the kids in 4-H. Joe is very involved in 4-H, and we're hoping maybe another animal she can take to do 4-H, that it serves another purpose to teach her responsibility to take care of it, how to handle it, and to maneuver an animal with some finesse, and have a general education of that animal. And it also serves a purpose on our homestead after serving a lesson for her, which most of the animals here serve lessons to children anyways.
Celtic Roots gave us some bad news though. No. They are almost too friendly.
Don't tell me that.
Don't tell us that.
You mean I'm going to love bacon and not want to butcher it?
Ella makes it very difficult at the end of the season when it comes time to process.
Yeah, your bloopers at the end of that video where they're just like knocking you over. I'm like, oh, I would just want to hug them.
Quick little story in our background. We bought a goat early on that we meant to butcher and process. Got named Buddy, and Buddy stayed with us. How long was it? 9
Far too long.
Yeah, it was so
He was the healthiest goat with no maintenance ever.
Yeah.
Of course, we were raising like pedigreed boar goats, and now we're raising trying to get into competitive Nigerian dwarf goats in the dairy world. And that goat didn't need any deworming, never needed his hooves trimmed, never needed anything. And I paid $100 for it. But he did eventually have to leave because he was being very, very mean to pregnant does and was butting them like to the point where I'm like, they are going to miscarry and I can't have that. So it was between the does or him, and the does won. So
also we just started getting more goats. So
Farmer Brad, welcome my fellow Hoosier.
He also said, I recently found out that an iPhone can easily beat another streamer.
Yes. I know. I need to utilize this more.
Actually a little better video quality.
It probably would.
MT Homestead said hello. So good to have
you. Welcome.
Haas said, well, that's your problem. You need to
yeah, that is one thing here. They get a name. It's a little hard to dispatch. I actually have a Nigerian dwarf buck who is now, I need to see if I found my lucky charm. So I recently weathered one of our Nigerian bucks that wasn't moving, and I'm looking for his lucky charm. It's really getting close to falling off. I thought I'd make Mark a necklace with it. Would you be okay with the dried up nutsack of a goat? You'd be okay with that? It's like a lucky charm though, because when they fall off, you almost never find them. Some waiting for you in the tree, buddy. But he's actually going to be used for butchering at some point. So he doesn't have a name. I haven't gentled him down or anything. I've let him be crazy because it'll make it easier in the end for me to be able to do what needs to be done.
Always dread that though.
Even the dumb dinosaur chickens.
Like
I'm like, I am so sorry, but thank you.
Audra said, I think pigs are just so adorable. Out of all good animals, I'd have the hardest time having to kill a piggy. Funny thing is, tough. At the fair at 4-H, the kids that were crying because they were selling their hogs, which I won't lie, I did my first couple of years, you would always get the best prices. People become suckers when they're bidding.
That's what we've always told Joe. That's so bad. But like when she'd be in there, like either
friends,
you were very sad or you were super friendly and you were just wanting to like
sell them.
You know.
I had one of my friends. He was a little bit older at the time, but cut his hand real bad on one of the gates, so he was crying because he gashed his hand open. But it looked like he was like just really upset about his hog. Like it was just like his best friend, and he got one of the best prices out of the fair. It was so
he did.
We had someone also recently tell us they were selling their hog for 4-H. Remember, they started acting like they were like presenting it and like
they were doing like a Vanna White, like
Joe. I think it was when he came in. Yeah, I came and picked up the bucks.
Yes,
his
Joe.
friend.
Okay, and he said like the kid was out there Vanna White.
Yeah, like the auction was sort of dead and wasn't going up.
But he's like walking around and just finessing it, and like they like.
It did start just being flamboyant, and actually like a lot of the guys' wives started bidding too.
Yeah, because they're like, we're gonna reward this.
So
Brzezinski, thank you so much for stopping in. We really enjoyed talking to you.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Red Silo says, tan it up and use it as a coin purse. That's exactly what I thought.
There you go.
I think it would be perfect. It would look really fashionable, like here. You think?
I feel like it'd
Were
be more
you
like
guys there like a couple lives ago? I had the bander.
Yeah, it'd be more like a threat. It'd be like when the headhunters would put the heads out on the stakes, like if you do something wrong.
Oh, that reminds me. So if you guys want to see something really funny, like the bander, last year we did a parody of the 12 Days of Christmas.
My best.
You're so good to me though when it comes to the YouTube and like camming for me.
She has an idea. I just rolled.
So I'm going to do another Christmas parody this year for a Christmas song, but last year it was the 12 Days of Christmas, and instead of 5 golden rings, it was 5 banding rings, and I'm literally chasing Mark around the entire farm with like the bander.
No men were hurt in the process.
He is totally intact. It's okay. Nothing happened.
Celtic Roots said, our first year we did a Star Wars theme and named our pigs Ham Solo and Chewbacca.
Oh my God, I love
Big mistake. I got way too attached. We would be the same way, but that is awesome. I was
really losing it though, because I was like, you could tell like your pigs were really social, like knocking you over. I'm like, that's what I would want, you know?
It's just heartbreaking. I ain't gonna lie.
It's just the one bad day though. Like, you know, that's good for them too, to have like, I feel like animals know when you're a good steward and when they're friendly like that. it just for me is like you had a really good life. Like there's been no expense has been spared on you.
That first moment of taking her life is the hardest for me. Like as she did a lot of the chickens, like after that's over, I'm fine handling what through the process. It's just that initial moment is hard for me. So totally feel for you on that. But I love those names.
Yeah, there's something about it that you just got to steal. But I welcome that feeling because it's when I don't have to steel myself to take a life and to honor it in the way that I'm getting ready to. Because if you don't honor the animal by using it, taking its life is total sacrilege. Like 100%, you're totally dishonoring that animal. Mm-hmm. So I want to feel that every single time because I know I'm human and I'm still, being connected enough with the animal to feel something, but I also want to honor them. So
Fairview said so many counties can't even find buyers for 4-H hogs due to drugs. We
didn't have one.
They're giving them. Or this year our fair
we didn't have one. They didn't have a packer. Now the county still comes together. The community does and bids up that animal, but they did not have a packer to take their hogs. And a lot of them were like, well, there's no processors that are open either. So I think a lot of them just got together and were like, we're going to do a hog roast. The part too is like for shows. I remember when I was growing up, one of the big things they were trying to do was shave the pigs because then it would show the muscle better. And then the packers were upset because the claws couldn't grip the pigs. The hair was there to help them grip.
And they do little things like shoe polish on the hooves and stuff like that.
They do a lot. You're right though, with a lot of like the drugs that they put into animals, especially market animals. And we talk a lot about that, like on our videos when I'm treating livestock. Yeah. And it was the number one reason why I switched to an herbal dewormer. And I know everybody will throw flack at me, like herbal dewormers don't work. Mine work. Mm-hmm. I've been very happy with the herbal dewormer that I've used. But there is a time and a place for everything. And if you were at HOA and we listened to Daniel Salatin's Breeding Out the Vet, he talked a lot about the convenience of like big pharma, even for livestock. He's like, instead of looking at the root cause of things or trying to figure out the natural way to get to the outcome that we want, we will throw big pharma, we will throw pharmaceuticals, we will throw all kinds of things at them rather than going to the root of the problem to figure out what it is that needs to be done. And that happens a lot with market animals. Yeah,
for sure. MT Homestead said, loving your reindeer back behind you. They're awesome. Ashley's proud of
This is the only holiday I decorate for, and Nick, go all out for it.
Haas said, what are your thoughts on the cruncher so there's no sack drop?
I think...
I mean, we've used the bander, had good success with it, so I don't think we've tried.
The cruncher has had good results. Actually, I sold 3 bucks not long ago, and they were going to be teaser bucks. They literally were going to have a vasectomy. Yeah. They're just going to like cauterize tubes because they wanted the testosterone there to still be a teaser buck and to kind of push those to come into heat for the bucks that were actually going to breed them. Yeah. But I've never used the crush method.
Crusher and it worked.
It's more effective on goats that are too old to be banded because they do. Yeah. You can ask him the last wether that we did. Like he was almost a little bit too large to be banded. Mm-hmm. And there does come a point where it's like they need to be banded for their own good, their own health, or for butchering reasons at a later age where you physically cannot get a bander over them that's going to be effective in what it's supposed to do. Yeah. That's when we've seen a lot of the crush method being used.
Audra said, Mark, I think I'd be the same way when it's alive. It's kind of a pet, but once it's dead, it's food and one bottle.
It doesn't. Yeah. Totally after. There is a good transition that you have to do up here for that. 100%. Yeah. Joe was not upset. I mean, when she was younger, she would be like, oh, but now she's like, she understands. Mm-hmm. And children are sponges. I know there are a lot of people that don't want their kids to be around when they're processing animals, and to each their own, but children are sponges. And I think at a young age, the more that we normalize knowing where their food comes from, the more rounded they are and the more open they are to understanding that.
With 4-H, even though I sold the homes, I was shielded from that process because we just load them on a truck and they were taken away.
Went away. You didn't see the whole process.
The hands-on, taking its life.
That's okay, Emma. You are a rock star mod. We love you.
Doing yoga too. Man.
Starting a 30-day yoga. Yoga is no joke, man.
Red Silo said, "Yep, totally agree, and try to find uses for every
single part. Yes, 100%. Piggies are a good way for that too."
Celtic Root says, "That's what we say. One bad day on the farm. Mm-hmm. This year will be a little easier because we are sending them off to USDA butcher since we will be selling the meat at the US.
Yeah, I found that to be very interesting and helpful that you had mentioned that because You guys are very inspiring to me.
Yeah.
The way that you are very involved with a lot of your farmers market. It's something that we've wanted to do, but I have to find the motivation. I have to learn how to organize things a little bit better. But I thought that was really good that you put that in there. Like, we could do it ourselves, but because we're taking it to market. Now, is that USDA butcher? Are those different state to state? Because I know Indiana is kind of weird, like about the wholesale of goat's milk. Like, I can't sell it for pet or human consumption. I think I can sell it for cosmetic, or if I am going to sell it for consumption, like, I have to tell them, like, it's not for human consumption, and they have to take all of my milk. They can't just say, I want a gallon of milk. They have to take everything that I've milked at the time to make it legal.
Which still makes sense to me.
Indiana's kind of weird, but I was just curious, like, if that's like a state thing for you, or if you've seen that it's different state to state.
Red Silo said, hey, we're looking for a herbal dewormer for our pygmy goats. Which one do you use? I
use Land of Havila. And the reason I chose Land of Havila over Molly's herbal concoction is Molly's herbal concoction. There are two. There's a two-step. There's like two different combinations. And one is okay for pregnant does and one is not. And I often, because like the way I'm breeding my goats right now is I'm hand breeding, which means when I have a doe that is showing she's in season, I literally take her out. I take the buck out. I let them have a date for a few minutes or however long it takes. And then I separate them again. Trying to keep track of who took, who was still open, who may need to be rebred because they didn't settle the first time, and keep that in with how I'm deworming.
Just lowers that risk.
I could make a mistake, and I could cause an early term abortion in my goats. Now with the Land of Avila, you don't have to worry about that. I literally can quadruple the dose on a goat, and it will not hurt them.
Yeah. We've had good luck with it. I think consistency is key. Ashley's
100%. It's a weekly thing.
Yeah.
You have to give it to them twice a day for 3 days, and then once a week after that.
Yeah.
But my goats love it.
Yeah.
Like, I will literally.
They come up to the fence.
They come up, and I have a syringe.
Which is nice.
I mix it with like warm water and molasses and syringe it up 6 millimeters.
She does it herself. Like before when we wormed goats, I'd sort of have to hold them, or she'd have to come on the stand.
I don't have to. They all come up to the fence now. And their Fermantia scores are good. The only thing I will say that it doesn't do well with is barber pole. But it's because barber pole worm attacks your goat quickly and will kill them like that.
And that's not to say like we don't keep chemical dewormers on hand.
There's a place for chemical dewormers.
And she checks the Fermantia scores regularly, and if one's struggling and it's with worms, she'll hit it with the chemical dewormer just to make sure, especially since we've got some show goats. We don't want to lose.
And the thing is too, like with the herbal dewormer, I don't have a withdrawal period. So if I were to butcher an animal, I don't have to worry about a withdrawal period for the dewormer that's in the meat or in the milk. Because even if you use chemical dewormers with goats while they're lactating, you really should even use like the milk for lotions, because whatever residual portions of the dewormer that's in the milk, your skin is porous. It's the biggest organ on your body. It will soak them in. And if they say you probably shouldn't come in contact with the dewormer just on your hands regularly, you probably don't even want the residual traces in the milk from like a lotion or a soap. I don't have to worry about any withdrawals. I don't have to worry about if they're pregnant. Like, I give it to them once a week. They love it. There's no struggle. I've been totally sold on it. 100%. I've been totally sold on it.
But like Ashley also said, there's certain worms that are resistant to it. So different areas might have different results too.
Yeah.
So,
and if you have goats that look like they're struggling, I will not tell you like, hey, just hit them with a chemical dewormer. I'm going to go with, if you have a goat that you're herbal deworming and they're struggling, please get a fecal sample, get to a livestock vet, and figure out what it is that you're dealing with. Because if you do have to resort to chemical deworming, that's totally fine. There's a place and a time for it. If your goat's life depends on it, absolutely do it. But if you blind treat, one dewormer is not going to treat all classes of parasite. So usually when we do deworm chemically, we do a dual. So I'll do a clear dewormer and I'll do a white dewormer, because that takes care of both the prevalent types of worms that are in our area, and that's going to be panicure and cydectin. But you have to watch out for panicure if you've got pregnant does. Within the first 60 days, I think it is, it can cause abortions. After that, you're fine. Cydectin is fine to give year-round, any stage of animal. So
up here, Celtic Root said pumpkin seeds do that too.
Yes.
Yes, and we throw pumpkins out there.
Garlic is another thing that's fantastic for all livestock for an immunity boost is garlic.
Yep.
Emma is awesome, isn't she? Like, she's just the best.
Counselor Groot said, I'm pretty sure most states are similar, but there are variables.
Mm-hmm.
We are allowed to sell direct without being USDA. Not sure if that is allowed in other states.
Yeah.
Indiana is, like Ashley said, a little touchy on some.
They're not friendly off-grid either.
Yeah.
they don't.
Unfortunately.
That's okay.
Fairview, I bought the mollies. I'll have to read up about the land of Seville.
Yeah. And really, like Fairview, when I did the breakdown from how much I'm spending on chemical dewormers, that's if you're like doing it every 2 months or as needed. Because I'm not gonna lie, like I was like all new goat owners. When someone says you need to do it monthly or you need to do it bi-monthly, I was just doing it. I wasn't thinking anything about it. And then you start reading about the resistance that builds up in worms, that we're creating super worms because of our overuse of chemicals. They're becoming resistant to it, and we're quickly coming down to things where it's like that doesn't work for your animal, and it's our own. It's because we're lazy. Yeah. It's because we're lazy, and we just throw a pharmaceutical at them to fix the problem. Yeah. But I liked mollies, but it was the fact that there were 2 different combinations. One was okay for pregnant goats, and one wasn't. And I'm like, knowing me, I would feel terrible if I caused my goat to miscarry because I just wasn't paying attention or I just didn't know. And with the way that we do things here, that wouldn't work. And Jay and Cheryl, you are very welcome for the kind words. You guys are fantastic and phenomenal. I've been scrolling through your videos, and it's just.
You were talking the other day. We wish we would touch base at home.
The Home Stars of America.
Yeah. Because I think we saw you guys there, and we just were tied up and didn't get a chance to say hello.
Or we were scared.
Yeah, probably.
Mostly I'm like, they don't want to talk to us.
We
are
sort of shy until we get to know people.
Yeah.
So,
it's easy I don't have to physically look you in the eye and read your body language here. I'm just talking to a screen. So.
Said, got to run. The Santa needs to wind down and crash early, which we probably need to start wrapping up. Santa. So
yeah, I need to close up chickens.
Rachel, Dusty Goat.
Hello.
Stuff.
Have you taken the trash out?
Not yet.
I put the trash in the trash can for you, sir. Right. You are welcome.
Red Silos, the great info got run. The boss came back and told me I need to get to bed. Yeah, that's what it's saying for us. So thank you again, everyone that joined us tonight. Wonderful time.
You guys are fantastic. We enjoy talking to you. We do this for all of you guys that are new in our live right now, because we did have quite a few new faces.
Yeah.
We do a live every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are here, and if not, we will post on our community tab if the goats got out or we can't get to the computer for some reason. But we're really happy we got to spend time with you guys. We look forward to next week, but we hope that you guys are all staying safe out there and being kind to one another. We're going to catch you next one.
Yep.
God bless, guys.
Bye.